Let's find out together. Of course, it's Donald Trump, and he's been a little pissed off. In case you weren't aware of it, and we'll talk about it. Let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen, and we'll see what old Trump here has to say. It's a little off the cuff right here.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Do you understand that? Look at this whole body posture. He's leaned into this. I mean, he's angry. He's leaning into it. He's really furious over this. What's he really furious? Two countries. Who's he talking about? Well, of course, you have the bad child, and then the child that controls the house, I guess. You have Iran and you have Israel. Furious Trump says Iran and Israel don't know what they're doing, says USA Today. A furious President Donald Trump lashed out with a curse word when a journalist asked him about the teetering ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Quote, we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard they don't know what they're doing, Trump said to at the White House on June 24 before an early morning flight to the NATO summit at The Hague. You understand that? He followed up with. Trump previously said he was unhappy with both Iran and Israel after Iran chose to strike Israel despite the ceasefire. And then Israel announced it would retaliate. Well, there's some question about Iran breaking the ceasefire, isn't it? We don't have, or quote, we have to have Israel calm down because they went on a mission this morning, Trump said. I got to get Israel to calm down. You got to get Israel. Is that what's going on? Is that what's happening, Trump? Well, he gave another little interview. We'll pull that up on the screen as well. Another little, just one of them briefies as he's walking to and fro. I'm not happy with Israel. I'm not sure Iran broke the ceasefire. You see, there's a bit of a question there. There may have been a missile launched that didn't hit anywhere from Iran. Iran said they didn't launch any missiles. Israel claims that 6 million missiles were launched. And so they had to retaliate by dropping more bombs on Iran in a single day than they had. Some outlets are saying, you'll have to check it out. Don't get your news from me. I'm the guy who just gives the instructions on how to save the white race. So you'll have to get the news at CNN. And Trump actually had some interesting words for them, as well as MSNBC. But Trump ordered the strike of the big bombers. The big boys went in there. And they dropped, of course, we talked, I guess, as many as 14 now, and probably more of the, what were they called, BMOPs, and they obliterated the nuclear sites. And, of course, the news then came out right on cue that they videotaped them leaving with the goods. This is so Iraqian over and over again. They fled. They have. Does anybody else remember the mobile weapons of mass destruction labs? Raise your hand if you remember that. Raise your hand if you remember all of the news telling you about they did have sites, but we've blown up all those sites in Iraq. But now they have mobile weapons of mass destruction labs. So I'm not talking here about mobile surface-to-surface missiles. Nothing like that. No, laboratories that could just drive around. I mean, how many roads does Iraq really have? Seriously, where mobile labs could be driven. It's not, that would be difficult to find. You know, during the Cold War, America had already developed satellites that were widely believed, and I believe it, and said to be able to read the license plates on the cars in Moscow. 100% they did, in my opinion. So by the time we get up to Saddam being a problem for Israel, I mean America. By the time we get up to that point, surely they could spot mobile labs. I mean, what would a mobile lab look like in Iraq? Is it being pulled by like 100 camels? What does it look like? I'm curious. How could it be stealthy? I think it would be really boxy and would be easily identified from satellites in the air. But no, they had mobile. So everybody get ready for the mobile Iranian weapons of mass destruction labs. Or if they don't go back to that, it'll be some other a base beneath a base beneath a base. And we don't know where it is, and we won't know. We can't find out from the air, and we can't find out from space, and we can't find out from human assets, human resources. So it'll have to be boots on the ground. At least Israel will say that. We'll see. It's one of the options. But Trump goes in there, and you had, 30 Tomahawk that they're admitting to, at least so far. I haven't had a chance to look at the news recently. Things are blown to, they're blown to pieces. And, of course, the news, as I say, comes out where they were escaped. They were in a Toyota, and they had everything in the back of it, and they just drove across it. Somehow we lost them. How is it that in America, and there's a high-speed pursuit, and the helicopter gets up in the air, the run-of-the-mill police chopper, and it can follow a crotch rocket? There's no getting away. Once the helicopter, but somehow, when you escape from the nuclear base, you can disappear into the, how could you lose them? There's the truck. Let's just follow it. Let's just see where it goes. All right, sure. Pull the other one. We believe that one. So Trump goes up in there and blows everything up. Now he says, come on, Iranians, Köhne, let's have a chat. Anywhere you go, I can blow you into atoms, into atomic structure. You could be deep, you can be hidden, you could be whatever. I can see you. I know where you are. Trump probably actually sent the message that says, I know you are right at this place. Time to make peace. And Köhne, of course, says, well, I've got to retaliate because power, because I'm in charge over here. So get everybody out of your base there in Qatar so that we can shoot a bunch of missiles over there. And you can shoot them down, and I'll be able to tell my population, I just punched America right in the fucking mouth. And then they'll say, wow. And you'll have nobody dead. Everything will be fine. And Trump said, good, you let us know. Let's have peace. And the Israelis are over there saying, and the Laura Loomers are over here, and all of the Loomer likes out there. Maybe that's what we'll just call these anti-white, the percentage of the Jewish population that's anti-white. We'll just call them the Loomers. And so the heavy Loomers, maybe, because she's a heavy gal. She's got a lot of density. We get back to Trump. He's like, you could see this guy alone when he gets really mad. If he's doing that out on the lawn of the White House, somebody get this man a dog to sick on them reporters. Somebody could get him like an old coon dog from like Mississippi. Get him like an old coon dog from Mississippi. I mean, gnarly one too, with big ass ticks hanging off of it. And the thing when it bays, it's horrible sounding. Just get this man a big old coon dog from Mississippi and put it on a long leash. President. Trump bombs the hell out of Iran, gets Khamenei to say, yeah, let's have some peace. Israel immediately claims that 6 million missiles were launched at it from Iran, and they have to bomb the ever-living shit, more bombs than ever, to drop on Iran, and making it very difficult, obviously, for Trump to be able to say he had the last word. So I really want you to pay close attention. This is ego. This is Trump's ego coming to the surface yet again, but in more than one way. Here's the first way. Trump wanted to deliver the crushing blow to Iran and say, that's it. You were destroyed. I can destroy you anywhere. Let's have some peace. Let's sign a deal, which is, as I told you, what Trump wanted. I know there were a lot of anti-Jews out there that told you that Trump was the go-to guy because he was just going to do whatever they wanted immediately, and it was going to be 4 years of an invasion of Iran and everything. Of course, they walk it all back, counting on the fact that the vast majority of their audience, unlike here, are composed of cauliflower, and they're just too vegetative to remember what their poobah had told them previously. And they really wouldn't care anyhow. You could show them clips and they don't care. Like I said, I mean, some of these leaders could be caught blowing a hobo on video, guaranteed it's not AI, and the audiences still wouldn't care. They'd be like, yeah, so he's the realest of real. So Trump wanted to be able to say, I ended this would have been a big war, could have rambled on forever. Iran could have nuked the world and there'd be nothing left. But I ended it. Now we have a peace deal. We brokered peace. I'm the big Trumpian Trumpster. And what happens? Israel goes ahead and they drop a bunch of more, an astronomical number of bombs. I'm sure 100% of them made in America. And from planes, I'm sure 100% made in America. Of course, my opinion, though, that's my opinion that I'm sure of. Check it out with Ted Koppel. Is he still on anywhere? Dig him up, whatever, wherever he is. I don't care. Okay. Find out for yourself. So they go and bomb. Here's the other thing, though, that pisses Trump off. It's not just that he wanted to be able to have the final word and now we have peace. The other thing that's pissing him off is the reality that millions of Americans are able to understand. And that is that Israel's supporting Jews primarily, and obviously a much tinier, ununified, kind of feckless, idiotic group of non-Jew Zionists ultimately control all of the foreign policy for the United States in the Middle East. They say jump, and the politicians, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, the rest, they say how high. How high do you want me to jump? Jump. Trump. Trump. We're going to start a new children's book here today. It's that or something. So he looks out in the world and he says, I'm nobody's bit. His ego is gigantic. Obviously, he's been pushed around. That's obvious. He had to go invade. And there are many reasons why the pressure came from. We've talked about them over the years since this guy has been in office. Last Sunday, we talked about it. But he does not want to be seen like that. Not just another wall-kissing jackass, even though he did go over and kiss the wall like a jackass. He doesn't want to be seen that way. He doesn't want to be seen being told, do this for us. This is so blatant. It is so obvious that too many midwits get it, that he was told, you got to go for it. You got to do it now. And he did. What is the only position that Trump can say? If he's being puppeted, what's the only position he can take? The only position he can take is, damn Israel, not doing what I want, not doing what he wants. Sure. Pull the other one, Trump. That is a total crock, not doing what he wants. But that's the only position he can take so that he doesn't look like he's being puppeted by anti-white, the percentage of anti-whites in the Jewish population.
But reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
I'm going to see if I can stop. You ain't stopping shit. I'm going to see. All right, I'm going to see if I can just shut this Israel thing down. Iran is in a bad state. They are, and trust me, these people out there, the anti-Jews, do you remember the anti-Jews said there's no way that Israel is going to be able to make quick work of Hamas? No way. No way. These are Jews. You know, these are just Jews. Hamas is like hard and fight. That's all they do is they live to fight. They're bred to fight. And we said here, although we'll go right through them. They'll just mow right through it. They mowed right through. They said, okay, but Hezbollah, nothing. Hezbollah will absolutely rain hellfire. And here I'm talking about content creators, merchants on the right, telling their audiences, this is going to be the beginning of World War III because they're going to sweep down from the north and they're going to mow through Israel, and then America will get involved, and then Iran. And once Iran's get involved, then there'll be nothing left of Israel. America will have to fight. Do you remember these like long conversations? If you saw any of them, if you saw their tweets, if you saw their posts on Gab or elsewhere, these long, like, if this, then that, then this, then that, and then we're in, World War V. And you're like, but how did we get World War V? I'm telling you. And then get the audience nice and scared, gin them up, get them donating. Get the audience nice and scared. If this, then this falls, then that falls, and then this leader, and then you never know, Saudi Arabia, they could get involved. And then, so they said, Hezbollah, they will sweep in, and they will. And what did we say here? Israel will just mow right through it overnight. What happened? Right again. So the people who focus, like hyper focus, they have like a fetish. They have a fetish. They have a fetish stronger for not liking Jews because of the way they're born. And let me make a statement here for these people, because we are white positive. We serve white well-being. So I'm going to go ahead and make a statement here to maybe set the record really straight. Even if every single Jewish person, and this is a hypothetical, even if every single Jewish person and every black person, and we'll throw in every Hispanic person as well for good measure, and every Arab, because we want to throw a little dash in, a little Middle Eastern dash in as well. Even if they were all born anti-white, even if it was just they were all anti-white, every single one of them anti-white, the correct position for us, for the survival of our people, for the well-being of our people, for the recapture of our destiny. The correct position for us is that the problem with them is that they're anti-white, not that they're Jewish, Black, Arab, or Hispanic. Narrow it down again to make it pithy and more of a punch to your mouth. Even if you could look out in the world today and say that every Jewish person is anti-white, the thing that would matter about them to the white people that are going to survive this is that they were anti-white, not their birth. If you want to focus on their birth, that's coming from a position of selfish individualism, and you are not going to survive. Those white people are not living through this, and whichever ones sneak through, we're going to take you out of the gene pool, because the selfish individualism is a curse. It's got to go. We're getting rid of it. So if you can't figure that out for yourself, and I know that the leader of the completely defunct, ridiculous, stealing the money from the leaders stealing in their money, the NJP years ago said that the only thing that matters is that they're Jews, not that they're anti-white. Now that's the kind of mentality that gets us where we are today, where our president has to pretend, the most nationalist president maybe since George Washington. There have been others that have been totally epic that I would argue, but this is, bantered about there on the internet, that he's the most patriotic since George Washington. This guy has to come out and fake that he's going to tell Israel what to do and he's not happy with Israel. And we can all see that he's saying that because he has just been puppeted, not tricked. He's just been ordered like a dog to sick. Boxed into a corner, you got to sick. All of the other pressures at play as well. Too many for the vast majority of people to be able to compute at a single time. And so that's where we are today. So Donald Trump having to come out and pretend like he's unhappy with Israel and he's going to speak to them and put an end to this. Hogwash.
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots.
Look, this is a deflection. And I could see a guy who built real estate having used this before in his line of work. What you're saying that the job we did here is not what you were looking. These are the best tileists. These are the best painters there are. Why would you slander them? It doesn't get better than these marble workers. It doesn't get better than these bricklayers. It doesn't get better. You're slandering them. So it's the kind of the same thing that's happening here. It's like you're slandering the B-2 pilots. Bro, do you know how many people are actually involved? Yeah, the pilots are flying these B-2s are an important part of the process. But there wasn't just them. They didn't like, hey, pick up the phone. You know that guy Jack, he's pretty like solid on the stick. We'll send him over, and it's like he's flying blind. There were thousands and thousands of people who were directly and indirectly involved in the strikes. But he's trying to deflect. You're just these B2, we got to celebrate the B-2 pilots. Stop changing the subject.
Put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC.
CNN is scum? But I tell everybody to go get their facts from there, Trump.
They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots; they're after me. They want to try and demean me. Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there, absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those.
These bricklayers, they're the best bricklayers. They worked through the night, and they built that brick in front of your building that we were building there, and they're the best. They did a fabulous job.
Things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize.
Apologize to the pilots.
I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers. You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN
gutless
is
garbage.
Gutless group of people, and the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak.
How long does this go? I thought he said more about the.
Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land.
Oh, so that I wanted to speak to that. Iran's in bad shape, and so they don't have a contiguous chain of command anymore. So commanders out in the field, whatever their final orders were, keep firing. They've got to get back in touch with them, which is not going to be an easy thing when your country's blown to shit. So if the leadership says, yes, we'll take this peace deal, we'll begin these talks, you have this window of time so that they can get to their commanders in the field, if possible, and tell them, stop firing. We're trying to have peace. So a missile was launched, supposedly. It didn't land anywhere. How did this happen? But wasn't shot down. But that's the ostensible reason or the reason I should say, we're saying ostensible, that Israel then dropped the biggest load of bombs they'd ever seen before.
I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
And there he goes. All right.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.